When we're young, we have an amazing, positive outlook about how great life is going to be, but somewhere along the line, we forget to dream and end up settling. Join Up Dots features amazing people who refuse to give up and chose to go after their dreams. This is your blueprint for greatness. So here's your host, live from the back of his garden in the UK, David Ralph.
Hello. It's a Join Up Dots show. That must mean that I'm coming to your ears. Oh, yes, it's true. It's me. No, that's enough of that. I should have planned it. I should plan it sometimes before I just press record and I open my mouth and I start talking, but that's how I am. How are we? How are we in Join Up Dots land, all my lovely little listeners out there? I'm going to be making love to your ears today. I'm going to be making love to your ears multiple times because we are going to be bringing some great content. Over the last week or so, I've been getting more and more emails. And as I say, more often than not, I do respond directly, but it takes me so long to type. And so then I use a thing called Vocaroo that I talk and it goes directly to them. But I've started sort of dropping a line to people saying, thank you very much for your email. This is me. This is David. But I'm actually going to record and put it on Friday's show, which is a kind of solo show. You will have noticed over the last few weeks, it's me doing me thing. And I'll tell you what doing me thing is. I'm bringing back the Gargle game today. Yep, I am bringing back the Gargle game. Now, if you guys out there who have come to the show new, thank you so much for being with us. You have missed out a lot on Join Up Dots, but that's all right. We've just been killing time until you got here. You know, we've just been making it up until the good stuff comes along, and now you're here. You're going to get quality all the way along. We used to do a thing called the Gargle game, when I would take a glass of water that I've got here at the moment, and I will fill my mouth up with a puddle, no more than a puddle of water, and gargle a tune of my choice. I will show you. Here's the water. Oh. Once again, I'm going to move my microphone up. I should plan this better, because you have to tip your head back. That's better. My microphone is much more... I'm like Liam Gallagher from Oasis. If you remember how he used to sing, I'm reaching up. You gotta roll with it. You gotta take your time. There you go. So I can't see my screen now, actually. I've moved this up. This is all going badly wrong. I should be a professional podcaster, but I can't see my screen. Right, I'm going to have to stretch. Okay, so the Gargle game, yes. So what I will do, I will gargle a tune of my choice, and if anybody can get it, I will connect with them one-to-one on Skype, and I will coach them. And it could be on a business idea you've got. It could be about mindset. It could be about anything. And believe me, I charge premium to this, so you will be getting it for free. So it's a very valuable gift. So that's the Gargle game, and we will do the Gargle game jingle. We'll do it professionally. But today is all about recording a show for you guys. This is about listeners' questions. And it's been great this week in Join Up Dots Land, because I literally have been focusing. I can't record like this. I'm stretched up. I'm like a blimmin' giraffe reaching up. Right, okay. I'm going to have back cramp by the end of it, but this is for you guys. I have been doing less and less in Join Up Dots. You might have heard me say this on a few shows, but I've realised that the value of my business is about teaching people how to do something really, really quickly with limited effort. Now, when I started up Join Up Dots, it was all about just creating the show, and then I realised I could teach people how to podcast, and then I realised that everybody else was teaching people how to podcast, so I had to find something different, which I can then bring to market, which I am, which is a total game changer for all people wanting to podcast. And funnily enough, the only way that I've been able to find this is by doing less and less. So I'm doing less and less work and getting paid more and more for it, which is it's like you tapping your head and rubbing your tummy. You got to really think about it. But once you get that idea, you think, yeah, what am I doing? I'm providing value. I'm finding a problem for people and then providing that solution. And so if you can do that, you will make a lot of money. And that's a good business idea for all of you. But anyway, this isn't about me. This is about my listeners. And this is about Andrew Hedley from Australia. Yes. G'day, Andrew. G'day from Australia. This is Andrew Hedley, and he is a lovely guy who connected with me on Facebook and told me he's Katy Perry in a jacuzzi fantasy, or maybe that was me. I don't know now. It all blurs into one. Probably. It sounds like me. If anyone knows Katie and she's got a weekend free, drop us a line, joinupdocs@gmail.com, and I'll do it for you, Katie. I will do it for you. Only for you. Anyway, Andrew dropped me a line. And he said, first of all, I just wanted to say how much I'm loving the podcast. It helped me exit the corporate career and into this fun and crazy world of startups. I listen to one podcast every afternoon, and it's the perfect inspiration. Yes, when I start to feel lost and have doubts. Thank you. Advice, please. I won't go into details. Oh, he's become all secret squirrel there. All secret squirrel. Right. I won't go into details, but I'm working on a business that people love the concept. But it's hard to see how I can monetize it. It makes me want to stop and go back to my traditional job as a real estate. But my gut says that if I persist, the money may just come in ways I don't know exist at the moment. As your show tells us, every podcast you can't connect. I've got to move the microphone down. This is killing my back, and I'm going to move it up for the gargle game. Right, okay. He says, as your show tells us, every podcast you can't connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect them looking backwards. So should I just soldier on without a concrete strategy for monetizing the idea, or should I work it out before moving forward? Right. Okay. Now, he says he won't go into details because it's secret. But I think that on something like this, Andrew, and for every other listener out there, give me the details because it makes it so much easier to actually answer about. Now, I've been doing some squirreling and I've been looking around your profile, Andrew, and I've been looking at things that you're doing, and LinkedIn timelines are very, very good. So I can see that you have been a real estate person in Australia, and I can see that you're now doing a business on a bike, this LinkedIn strategy where you take people to do business on bikes, where it's like a sort of gets you out the office, gets you on the bike, and you can discuss business all the way along the line. Now, I'm going to give this as the example because I've seen it on your profile, so I know that that's something that you're thinking about. And when I first looked at it, I thought to myself, I love this. This sounds brilliant. This sounds great. You're in your office and you think, right, I don't want to sit in a boring, stuffy business room. I'm going to get on my bike and I'm going to cycle around, having conversations, having exercise, feeling invigorated. This is brilliant. But then, of course, you look at an idea like that and you think, how do I monetize it? How do I take this idea that people think is great into monetization? Now, the first thing that you have to do for any idea, it doesn't matter what it is look around the internet. Because believe me, you are not clever enough. No one is clever enough to come up with a brand new idea. They're all similar themes. And so other people are doing similar stuff. And if other people are doing similar stuff and they have been doing it for a few years, there are so many clues out there how to actually monetize. Now, one of the things that I like to do is I go over to Google, and I'm sure we've all got Google in our lives, and I type in speech mark, and for example, cycling, speech mark, and then the plus sign, and then speech mark, monetize, and then speech mark. And what that does, it sorts out all the crap that you see on Google, and it narrows it just down to these core themes, cycling and monetizing. Now, you can do that for anything. You could do it for camping, monetize. You can do it for dog grooming and monetize. It really does give you an avenue to what other people have already been making money from. And a lot of people will share that information. So I use that a lot, first of all. And then I look around and I see what people have on their websites. So I've already narrowed it down to the area that I'm thinking about, and then I will go across. Now, one of the things that you can do quite easily on these things is affiliate marketing. So you can find other people selling products and you can bring it onto your website, or you can bring it into your business strategy, and you can make money quite simply. Okay, so that's a good one. Amazon is great, and Affiliate Bank, ClickBank, and all those affiliate programs are amazing for that. Now, away from that, you've got to think around the issue. Now, as I say, using this example of cycling for business, I instantly thought to myself, right, okay, how would I monetize this? I would do weekend retreats. So I would look at people actually taking business into a wider sense. Because if people like cycling, then they are happy to go cycling. So they can go to, a mountain course. Just near me, we've got the Olympic 2012 mountain cycling route. And so I would get them all down there at the weekend. I would hire a hall, and then they can do their exercise. They can chat things over. Might not even hire a hall. I might just sit there on a hillside somewhere with the bikes, lay it all out, mastermind, get it all going. And then in the evening, you could have a speaker that comes. And so they're made to sort of stay over. And so you rent out a couple of rooms or whatever you want, more than a couple of rooms, because otherwise that'll be an orgy. And that's not good in any business, although that's monetizing as well, if you can do that. But a load of rooms so that people can have their own private space. And you could then charge more for that. And what you got to do with all business ideas is branch away from the it's only me, it's only in this area. And you've got to look at ways that you can spread this idea, this concept. You own this concept, but how can you do it across the world? And you do that by building community. Now, on Join Up Dots, you will have heard me talk to many people that are doing stuff that quite simply seems mad. Now, in a recent episode, I was just talking to a gentleman about a lady who has created a whole business around skipping. So skipping like 5-year-old girls, and businessmen come out of their office, hold each other's hands, and they skip. And even to me now, and I know she's doing very, very well, she is finding a huge amount of value, and her business is really, really growing, even though it seems a bit mad. But what is she doing? What is she doing? And this is what you need to do, Andrew. This is where businesses take fold. She isn't teaching people to skip, because who's paying for that? She's not teaching people to, get fit. What she's teaching is to break free from their comfort zone, doing something that is slightly crazy, doing something that is slightly fun. So in your business, what is it that you are delivering to the table? What is it? Is it about freedom? So people are wanting to get out and be inspired and be creative with their ideas, because you could market that reasonably easy to many companies around the world, because they are very much into well-being for staff. And as long as you can say that your staff will come back with extra ideas, with marketing techniques, with inspiration and the fitness and all that element, then you can market it into a business. So with all businesses, the idea isn't so much of how you make money off it. It is, what are you bringing? Where's the value? And if you can think about emotions are a great way of selling a product. We like to feel happy. We like to feel sexy. We like to feel positive. We like to feel motivated. We like to feel inspired. So if you can bring that in, what you're doing, you're not actually selling a product. You're selling a dream. You're selling a movement. And that then starts to take shape. So I would, with anything, I would look online, I would type in the name, speech marks, and the name of what you're doing, and speech marks, the plus sign, speech marks, and then monetize. You could also do another one for affiliate. You could do that and start looking around other people's websites and jot down the information. You can connect with them. You can look at on LinkedIn. There's so many ways of doing your market research. And LinkedIn is one of my favorite ones for Join Up Dots, because you see timelines and you can see if somebody's only been doing it for 2 months, then maybe look somewhere else. If somebody's been doing it for 8 years, great. How are they supporting themselves on this idea that is similar to you? And you can even connect with them and say, look, I'm in Australia, I'm in America, I'm thinking of doing something that's similar to yourself. Have you thought about branding yourself into a different company? Many, many different ways. But you've got to think about what value you are bringing, and not in regards to the money you can make. Now, one of the things that you say, Andrew, is about going back and becoming a real estate agent. I don't see there's anything wrong with that. Nobody says that the path that you have to take is just one way. Nobody says that at all. But what you can do is, of course, you can make it easy for yourself in the short term by transitioning. If I can make money doing something that isn't related to Join Up Dots, help me move forward with Join Up Dots, I'm going to do that. And anybody that would come up to me and go, "Oh, I thought you was a podcaster. I thought you was doing that," then I would punch them in the groin really hard and say, "This is me moving forward to my dream." So if you need to go back and do your traditional job as a real estate, then create it as a side hustle, a weekend thing, an evening thing. But certainly think about community. Get people involved. Get a Facebook page on there. Start asking them questions. What would you like to see me provide? Because people will tell you, because they like it to be spoon-fed for you. So hopefully that answers your question. So should I just soldier on without a concrete strategy for monetizing the idea, or should I work it out before going and moving forward? I think half and half. I would certainly do my market research. I would spend a good 2 or 3 weeks looking at other people's businesses, Googling, checking out on LinkedIn, connecting with people, really getting a strategy, but then realize that only takes you halfway, because things do change. And as you start to build momentum, then things go off in different directions and you do get money coming to you in a way that you possibly couldn't believe at the beginning. So you don't want to restrict yourself, but you do need to have a concrete strategy for monetizing. And fortunately for us, it's all out there. Now, I don't know how you would have done this sort of 20 years ago, really, before the internet, how you would know, because I think it'd be very, very difficult. Now it's not. You just have to do your market research. But thank you so much, Andrew. Thank you so much for dropping us a line from Australia. I've been there a couple of times. Haven't been there for many, many years now, but I'll have to come back. I have to come back and join up the dots down there. Now, the next email I've got wasn't really a question posed on the show, but I get this so many times that I thought I'd bring it on. This was from a gentleman called Isaac Burke in Seattle. Hello, Isaac. I love you, Isaac. You've got a lovely beard, Isaac. And he says, your podcast is so great and matches where my life is headed. I'm excited that your podcast is a part of my journey. You have so many podcasts and I'm new to changing my mindset. Which of your podcasts should I start with? Now, I actually responded to Isaac on email and I said, go back and listen to a lady on Join Up that's called Lorraine Regley. And it was either episode 379 or 397, but you can Google it and find it. And it's one of these ones that I think is really inspiring, because this lady had such a bad start to her life that just spiraled out of control, and she got down and down and down, but she forced herself up. And I listened to this show quite a few times, and some people say it's depressing, but I actually find it inspiring. But it's one that really hits home to me. Now, that's what I mean. When people say, which of your podcasts should I start with? It's very difficult, because I record so many and push them out to the world. And some, when I'm recording them, I think this is bloody brilliant. This feels amazing. This is really good, because it's, it's what inspires me. Others that I put out to the world that hasn't quite hit home for me, I get more feedback from them. And it really surprises me. It has to be the message that is right for you and no one else. So all I would say is just randomly pick. Just start at the more recent ones, go back to the very beginning when you can hear I wasn't very good, and then sort of move around, and you will find a flavour of what works for you. And when you are listening to them, if you get that feeling, like I said, that you think, oh, this is great, I'm really inspired, don't just listen to it and walk away. Jot down your thoughts at that time and your feelings. Look, we're coming back to what I was saying to Andrew again. Jot down what you're feeling at that time, and why do you feel that? Because there's clues in there, and if you can get to that point that you think this is great, I really love this, when you are really a head start. Now, Isaac, I do believe, is in the military at the moment, and I imagine he's transitioning out into sort of entrepreneurial life or corporate life. And so the mindset piece for Isaac, and for anybody who's going through that transition, is absolutely surround yourself, listen to as many podcasts as you can, read motivational books, but I would say get out and network on LinkedIn. Network's great for actually typing in your town and then typing conferences and networking and stuff and see what's going on, because you don't get as much from listening to stuff as you do by meeting people or going to a conference or sitting there listening to a speaker. That is when it really comes together, because you're surrounding yourself by people that can take you in a different direction. I used to hate going to conferences when I was in banking and insurance. They just bored me stupid. But now I'm in this. I don't go to many of them, but I like to go and I like to just sit and listen. And I mingle. And when people ask me what I do, I always say, I'm a small business owner. I never say that I'm a podcast host. I was a small business owner because I want to find out what they're getting up to. And I found that when I said, oh, I'm a podcast host, people would go, oh, that's interesting. And, how did you get that going? And it was just about me talking about myself. And that's not what you want to do. You want to find out about them. So, Isaac, I would say that you are already on the way there to changing your mindset because you are listening. You took the brave decision of writing to us and sending an email out to us, which isn't easy. So many people listen to the show and we get a very small percentage, thank God, because otherwise I'll be answering emails all the time, which is no good for man nor beast. But and he also said, and on the Ultra Running podcast, it's missing the Jim Carrey quote. It's just silent. We did change that, and we got that sorted. And if there's any mistakes that you hear in any of the episodes, we do bash them out. We do them very, very quickly. So drop us a line because we really like that. We like everything to be perfect, but sometimes we drop the ball. Right, okay. This is the moment. This is the moment for the gargle game. So I'm going to move my microphone. There's going to be a bit of noise here. Right, okay, so I'm reaching up. So here's my glass of water. Here we go. Right, you can test. You can test that is live water. That is live water near a microphone. Electricity and water should be quite shocking. Now, as I say, all you got to do is if you can guess this, as we had with Martin Gardner, we've had with quite a few people, actually. I haven't done it for a while. Martin Gardner is... I've lost my voice. Martin Gardner is a sexy individual from the Midlands of the UK who won the gargle game way back in the time. And since then, he has created his own business. He's taking the camping world by storm. And he's building a business. He's connecting with retailers and campsites, and he's doing something that's amazing. All from the gargle game. He started taking action, and we only had one coaching call, and away he's done it. And I will put the links of his website on to the show notes, and you can go over and you can see what he's doing because it's brilliant. It's brilliant. Taking action. Right, this is the song. And so all you got to do is drop me a line at joinup.gmail.com and in the title say the gargle game and tell me the song, and we will put them in the hat, and the one that we get pulled out, I will personally I will connect with you on Skype and we will have live coaching. Right. The gargle game, it's the greatest game. Sounded good, didn't it? Didn't it sound good? Right, here we go. Right, I actually drowned on that. Oh, that was a hard one. So if you can get that from the gargle game, it's the greatest game, then I will connect with you and we will coach you to global domination. Right, let's move the microphone down a bit. Oh, it's all wet now. It looks like I've salivated over it. Right, okay. Next question we've got from South Africa. Join Up Dots is global. This is amazing. Hello, David and the Join Up Dots team. Wow, what an amazing show. Thank you so much, she says. Kim Bola from South Africa. And she's either very, very grateful or she's developed a stutter. But she says, I've been listening now for the last few weeks and I'm astonished by your energy. Are you always like this or is it just for the show? I'll be honest, I'm kind of like this when I need to be like this, but I'm not like this when I'm just sitting on the sofa scratching myself. I hold my energy up for Join Up Dots because the last thing you want, and I go over to some podcasts and it's like, hello everybody, thank you for being on the show. I really appreciate you. Perk it up, mate, perk it up. I want to feel the passion from you. If you're not passionate, imagine you you get into bed with somebody and you're really doing your best and they're just like laying there. It's rubbish. I've got to meet you halfway. And if you're passionate enough to take the leap and go for it and you're feeling all inspired and all motivated, I've got to send my enthusiasm and passion for the task out to you so you can hear it and you can go, yeah, I'm going to do this. Where's me boss? Punch him in the face and run out, grabbing the photocopier and doing what you need to do. You need to feel passion. I do think you need to feel passion, and it shows really that I take this seriously. Yeah, I do it flippantly and I have a fun time and I enjoy myself, but I am professional as in the energy. I save the energy up. I go to bed early the night before and I then turn on the microphone and I deliver. So yeah, it's not always like this, but I do try to do it for the show because I think it's important, Kim. Okay, right. Would you be kind enough to answer a question that has been bothering me over the last few weeks? You talked about taking the leap. You talk about finding the things that you want to do, and you've been talking very much about how you managed to do it. You might have answered this in an earlier episode, but I would love to know when the idea to become a podcaster come to you, and did you have it all planned out, as I would love to do this myself. Right. When I became a podcaster, I literally had never listened to a podcast before in my life. It was just that I transitioned from my job to be a web developer at home and hated it because it was too quiet. And I listened to 3 episodes of a podcast, 3 different ones actually, within about an hour and a half. And I thought, I could do this. I could do this. And so I set about doing it. I didn't have anything planned out. All I knew was that I was going to call it Join Up Dots. And I didn't really understand why I was calling it that at that time, but I'm so glad I did. So it kind of planned out for me, but I had to do the first thing. And the first thing was decide to do it and then buy the microphone, buy the equipment, plug it in, test it, and start working towards I want to do. And now obviously it's a fully fledged show. This is a Global Hit Podcast, and if you go over to my LinkedIn profile, I've actually now changed it to Global Hit Podcast, where I wouldn't have done that before. But now the confidence levels are so high because it's going so well that I think, yeah, why should I sort of sit behind these things? Why shouldn't I put it out? So it takes time, Kim. It really does. And I would say, as I said with Andrew at the beginning, I would have a plan. I would think about what I want to record, how many episodes a week I'm going to do, what monetizing I want to aim for, what niche I'm going for or niche. I would have that kind of planned out, but the rest I would naturally let it occur and see what happens. And be aware that while it is occurring, then do other stuff. Don't quit your job if you've got a job, or do another job in the evening. I did a load of different things in the beginning to sort of cover the loss of income that I had. So plan it out to a point, sketch it out, but know what you're heading for. Absolutely key. If you're aiming for $5,000 a month, work out how you're going to get that $5,000 a month. If you're aiming for $200,000 a month, when I started Join Up Darts, it was just to cover what I was earning before. But I've actually got a sign up in front of me, and it's a check, and it says, pay David Ralph, Join Up Dots podcast, $200,000 a month, because I look at that every day and I think to myself, right, I'm planning towards that. I'm not there now, people. I'm doing very, very well, and Join Up Dots is doing, and the spin-off Podcasters Mastery is doing very, very well indeed. But I'm not at $200,000 a month. But that's what I'm focused for. And so all the ideas that come to me, I look at that and I think, can I bring that in somehow to give me the life that I want, but also the money as well? Totally doable. Totally doable. Right, okay, and the last question we've got is from Weston-Super-Mare in England. Hello, David. Love the show. It's probably an English voice. I would love to know what has been the greatest business idea that you've heard on the show. Better so many episodes of Join Up Dots to listen to. I'm not sure what this is saying here, but love the show. I would love to know what has been the greatest business idea that you've heard on the show. Could you point out one that you thought was mind-blowing? Thank you, John Picard. Not sure if that's happened when we've cut and paste, John, if that's a garbled message. I do apologise. The greatest idea. I just had one recently, actually. I was just talking to a guy who sells on Amazon. I think that's brilliant because Amazon does all the drop shipping, and there's a strategy, there's a process you can follow. And so I'm thinking seriously of doing that for my kids. What else out of all the shows have I listened to? I like the ones that are very low risk at the beginning, but are scalable to high rewards. So most of those are online. I also like the ones that you can do globally. So it's all right saying, I've got this business idea that I'm going to do in my town. How do you scale it? So I like the ones when people are, like the cycling idea. Now that is totally scalable. You create it, you get your brand, you then monetize it, you get somebody else to work in a different country, you're the leader, you get a newsletter going out, you get videos, you get free content, but you build the momentum. I like those kind of ideas, but I certainly did like the idea of Amazon, as you will see on a show coming up soon, where the guy is making 6 figures a month plus, and all he's doing is finding a product that people want, going out and buying the product and selling on Amazon, and everything else is done for him. I love that. And as I say, there's good ideas everywhere. Every single episode of Join Up Darts isn't created by somebody that has just failed. It's somebody that has created something, failed numerous times, and then found that business idea that works for them. And if you can find the idea that works for you, your family, your time, your lifestyle, pays your bills, whatever, then you are really up and running. And it doesn't have to be, I think so many people think they've got to start and go 6 figures straight away. No, you don't. You just have to, pay for a telephone or pay for your TV license or whatever you have to pay for. Chip away for those income and make it easier in your life until you get to the point and you think, oh, actually, all my bills are covered. Now I'm in profit. That's how I would transition, and that's how I did transition. So every idea in Join Up Darts, every episode has a good business idea, sir. And so I wouldn't say there's the greatest one. I would say every single one is the greatest one if it works for you and it works for your family. So thank you so much for listening to this episode of Join Up Darts. Join Up Darts. And as I said right at the beginning, we will play out with the original jingle of Join Up Darts. We don't play this anymore, but we will bring this back onto the show. And of course, the Gargle Game. If you can get the tune and you can drop me a line, just mark it in Gargle Game, joinupdarts@gmail.com, and I will connect with you on Skype and we will discuss your business idea or whatever. It's up to you, and we will have coaching for half hour. And if I like you and you're very attractive, we might go longer. Until the next episode of Join Up Darts, thank you so much for listening to the show. Thank you so much for sharing it with your friends. It is going up exponentially at the moment, month by month by month. That's only down to you guys listening and sharing, and ratings and reviews. As we always say, us podcasters, it does make such a big difference, and it only takes seconds. It really only takes seconds, but it can kill a show or bring a show to a life support system. That means that it's got its chance to actually flourish. Thank you so much for listening, as always, and until the next time, we'll see you again. Cheers. See ya. Bye-bye.
That's the end of Join Up Darts. You've heard the conversation. Now it's time for you to start taking massive action. Create your future, create your life. It's the only life you've got. And we'll be back again real soon. Join Up Darts, Join Up Darts, Join Up Darts, Join Up Darts. Join Up Darts.